What is up, and welcome to the Big Lead Podcast. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the new Big Lead Podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube. It is a show all about the hottest stories in sports. Anything that people are talking about in the world of sports, you're going to hear it right here. We're also doing a giveaway. Lakers fans out there, we are doing a Luka Doncic jersey giveaway. Once we hit 2,000 subscribers, all you have to do to be eligible is comment Luka Magic down below, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you have those notifications on. But we got a jam-packed show. We're talking Final Four. We're talking on the women's side, the men's side. The Lakers have a big game against the Rockets. What will that mean as far as seeding goes? We got the questions for the Lakers for the remainder of the season. Also, a brawl, a tussle at the Target Center. We'll talk about the suspensions for that. A new bat that's causing controversy in Major League Baseball. And of course, my name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. I got my man J-Rob, John Robinson IV. He's rocking with me as always. We'll check in with him in a second. But we will start today with the Final Four. Final Four, where we got all number ones in the Final Four. We got a chalk Final Four. The top seeds around the country have all made it. And it is the first time since 2008, the first time since it was Kansas, Memphis, UNC, and UCLA in San Antonio that we've had all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. What we're going to do now is we are going to rank the teams as far as who's the best. And we're going to start with the Duke Blue Devils. Now, if you're a Duke hater, you got to be scared at this point that Duke is going to win another national title and that they have found another legit, iconic potential coach in Jon Scheyer. I mean, you could argue that Jon Scheyer is already solidified as himself as the guy, but now it's looking like, okay, this guy could be the modern version of Coach K. This could be a coach that is the best coach in college basketball. And Duke, look, for as much success as they've had throughout their history, they have 5 national titles. It's not like they have 10 titles or anything like that. It's not like they have UCLA's 11 titles or Kentucky's 8. It's not like they have North Carolina's title count. Heck, if you look at UConn has 6. How many people out there, J-Rob, do you think even realize that UConn has more natties? And UConn's natties, bro, they 99. First one, 04, 11, 2014, 2020, 2024. Yes. I mean, the UConn is really, they entered that blue blood mix, and this is going to be big for Duke to get back on the national championship winning tip if they can win in the Final Four. But what did you make of Duke's win, and are they your number one? It kind of has to be, right? Number one contender going to the Final Four.
I mean, I'm so split between them and Auburn as my number one team. I love what Duke is doing. I mean, they're clearly the most talented team of the Final Four. Cooper Flagg, Con Knuppel, Isaiah Evans off the bench. Tyrese Proctor is playing some phenomenal basketball for them right now. Listen, they got the best player in the tournament in Cooper Flagg. And honestly, D-Mac, Cooper Flagg might have the best freshman year I've seen since Carmelo Anthony Syracuse if they go out there and win this national championship.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg has been outstanding, as you say, and the crazy thing about that, J-Rob, is the fact that Cooper Flagg should be getting ready for prom. Cooper Flagg should be in high school, and he's potentially leading a Duke Blue Devils team to a national championship. And you look at this Duke team, what they've accomplished. They've beaten a lot of really good teams. You beat Arizona. You come in and you get to a Final Four where it's not like it's been the hardest run there. And I think that's something they have going for them. And look, I just think that the story for Duke, win or lose, is about Jon Scheyer. As great as Cooper Flagg is, Cooper Flagg's going to go number one. Cooper Flagg's going to have a all-star NBA career, but Cooper Flagg's going to help you for 1 year, right? He's gone. Jon Scheyer is that man for Duke. And there was no guarantees that he was going to be that guy, a former Duke player. And you look at a program like UCLA that was in a difficult position to try to find the successor to John Wooden. And they went through multiple guys. You look at North Carolina trying to find the successor for Dean Smith. They went through a ton of guys before getting to Roy Williams. Duke has hit on the first guy right out of the gates in John Shire in his third season at Duke. In his third season at Duke, he is probably going to win a national championship. Look, I'll say right now, he's going to win a national championship. That's what we call a hedge right there. And that is where if they win, I feel good because I was right. If they lose, I'd feel good because I'm a Duke hater. Okay. So let me manifest it either way. But let me just make this very clear. Third season winning a national championship. Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, who's right up there for best coaches in the game. Dean Smith, Mike Krzyzewski. You got John Wooden. And give me the titles count with John Wooden. But in his third year with Duke, he was fighting to save his job. He hadn't won a national championship. He hadn't won NCAA tournaments. In his third year, he had won 3 conference games. 3 conference games in his third year with Duke, and he goes on to be one of the best coaches, in some people's eyes, the best coach ever. But John Shire is certainly getting it done. Then you look at Florida. Florida is the team. That's the okay, which matchup is going to feed families? It's Florida, it's Duke. Those are the 2 most talented teams. Walter Clayton Jr., the Iona transfer, he could enter that Florida lore. Guys like Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Bradley Beal, Mike Miller, those guys who have really brought that program to being a football school, to winning multiple national championships with Billy Donovan, to a program that could win a national championship in another era. And he was fantastic. I mean, I think that was the biggest standout as far as player-wise. We know how good Cooper Flagg is, but Walter Clayton Jr., he saved the Gators' season. Florida, they were down 9 points to Texas Tech with 3:14 left to go. He had 3 3-pointers, bro. I mean, that is just absolute grapefruits for him to go out there, hit 3 3-pointers. And I think you look at where Florida is right now, they're dangerous. And I think that the fact they got there, they need to be in a position where they're the hunter and not the hunted. And that's where I think that they'd benefit from a Duke-Florida matchup right there, because right now the pressure is on Florida. Now, Houston's the team that I think would be the Kelvin Sampson coronation. And I think it's funny. Look at Kelvin Sampson. If you know anything about his career, when he was at Indiana, he lost his job for calling high school recruits. It was a whole different era. To think that that's where he was and where we were in college basketball for so many years, it kind of makes you laugh. But Kelvin Sampson is a defensive coach, and he got buy-in from his players, and that's a tenacious defense that they're playing with in Houston. And they held Tennessee to 15 points in the first half. Okay. This is a Tennessee team that was scoring points, that was showing that they had an explosive offense. But Houston, they play D. They can score when they need to. They haven't won a national championship. So that's kind of who I'm rooting for. And think about this. When Houston hired Kelvin Sampson in 2014, they had been to the NCAA tournament just once since 1992. And since they hired Kelvin Sampson, it's just been a great marriage, man. 3 Sweet 16s, an Elite 8, 2 Final Fours. So I think for him, for his legacy, John Shire could win his first national championship. Sampson, I think right behind him, though, would solidify that legacy. And if I had to pick the team I want to win, it's H-Town. I want to see Houston get that national championship. And then you got Auburn. Auburn's a team that no one's going to talk about, but they're a 1 seed. Imagine being a 1 seed and you're a team that no one's talking about. The Auburn style of play where they just value every single possession and they're just dominant when they're good. I mean, I like the way they just kind of snuck into this tournament as far as a 1 seed, but no one's talking about, but they're kind of a sleeper 1 seed. I think that kind of makes them dangerous. They had a nice lead over Michigan State. Michigan State made a run. They did not give it back. And I think for them, it's Broom making sure that he's healthy because he left the game in the second half. But yeah, I look at these 4 teams. I'm excited about this Final Four because I think Cinderella is the most overrated thing ever. The last thing I want to see would be Duke McNeese State and Duke's up 40 points in the second half. I think we're going to see competitive games. I think we're going to see the best talent on the court. I think at the end of the day, Duke wins their 6th national championship. Oh, just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Sorry, Duke puke, but I think that Duke, this is the most likable Duke team. I mean, I think Duke has had a lot of guys who it's like, you could kind of say, who's the most punchable face on Duke? The way they play, it's kind of the most likable Duke team I've seen in a long time. I want Houston to win. I think Duke's going to win. J-Rom, where do you stand on that, though?
I'm actually going to go with them Auburn Tigers to win it all. I think they have the perfect blend of, I really like that front court they have. I think Johnny Broome is great. I think Tahad Pettiford is the best freshman point guard this year, not named Dylan Harper Jr., and didn't get enough credit for how well he's played as a six-man, might I add, on this team, but he finishes every game. My biggest concern for Auburn is they started the last 3 games of the season, not great defensively, but in the tournament, they've really tightened themselves up defensively. And so I feel like what they already have talent-wise offensively, as long as they can match that on the defensive end of the floor, I put them in a great position to win because I think they're really balanced. They have the mix of youth, experience. You have your star player in Johnny Broome. So I really like the Auburn Tigers. And I'll be honest, I'm a big fan of Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, Bruce Pearl's another guy, too, where this is someone whose legacy takes another leap if they find a way to win, just because he's been so good for so long.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that he would turn Auburn into this national power? But I like the way his teams play with the way they close halves. I mean, a 17-0 way to close out that first half. They've been a very consistent team. Charles Barkley is going to be really interesting, talking about Auburn and, of course, the women in San Antonio, right, and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to hear from Chuck. But, yeah, it's going to be great for basketball. I think that you look at, they're the top 4 teams. They're also the top 4 teams in KenPom. So they're objectively the best teams in the sport this season. So I like it. The Final Four, I don't want the mids. Don't give me the Cinderella in the Final Four. Give me the best teams. I like the blockbuster movies, right, over the indie flicks, okay? Give me the mainstream rappers versus the underground guys, okay? There's some good guys, but when it comes down to it, let's be honest, you want the best on the biggest stage. That's what we're getting in the Final Four. Switching gears, though, a brawl-ish, a little bit of a tussle at the Target Center. I mean, the video of this, I think people, of course, Isaiah Stewart, if he's ever going to be a fight, he's going to get down with it. But the truth is, this looked like a group hug to me. This didn't look like it's kind of disappointed. When you think of Pistons and Brawls, you kind of expect a little bit more. But still, you got a bunch of players that were ejected between the Pistons and T-Wolves. They had a nice scuffle in the second quarter. The fight started after T-Wolves, Naz Reid, and Pistons, Ron Holland, they were exchanging words. That led to them scrapping a little bit. Everyone on the court gets involved. You got Highland, Isaiah Stewart, Marcus Sasser. You got JB Bickerstaff. They were ejected from Detroit. Reed, Dante DiVincenzo, and assistant Pablo Prigioni from the Wolves, they were ejected. Bickerstaff, he talked a little bit about it after the game and kind of tried to make it seem like it was basketball being basketball, and there was nothing too much of it. But the suspensions and everything behind it, I mean, you're not seeing a big fallout from this, but I think the big takeaway is, hey, Isaiah Stewart might be better served for the WWE than the NBA. Get him an octagon somewhere. But J-Rob, this didn't seem like your classic NBA tussle, but I want to see more of it. I will say that.
I think for those people out there, those old heads who say the NBA isn't tough or that guys don't put their hands on each other, I mean, look no further than an Isaiah Stewart-led basketball team, because that team will for sure put their hands on you. And honestly, listen, we love a little testosterone-fueled, grudge matches in the NBA. I mean, I wouldn't say like, oh, this is bad for the sport. Emotions run high. That's what athletics are. That's what competition is. These things happen. And, the league will probably suspend some guys for this. We saw a coach get involved, which was kind of crazy.
That was interesting.
So, I mean, hey, I will say this, though, to Isaiah Stewart. He's the only player in the NBA that I've seen that we don't really show his highlights. We show his egregious fouls and his altercations. So, I mean, this is just another chapter in the Isaiah Stewart lore.
Absolutely. I mean, I think with Isaiah Stewart, it's just like, okay, we saw what he did with like LeBron a couple years ago in the Lakers. And yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the cameraman right there. Just kind of get falling behind the action there. And like you said, we're kind of waiting for the suspensions. JB Biggerstaff said, obviously things went too far, but what you see is guys looking out for one another, guys trying to protect one another, guys trying to have each other's backs. Those are non-negotiables in our locker room. And I like the fan cams too. Imagine if you're a court, like that'd be kind of a great experience. If you're just courtside and fans start fighting in front of you, and then they give that fan the jersey, that little fan, they gave him a little jersey there. It's like, okay, we'll give you the $100 jersey. Don't hit us with a $20 million lawsuit type thing, right? I mean, I think you got to come harder and go harder than that for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Chris Finch, the Wolves coach, said, I thought leading up to that game, leading up to that incident, it was way too physical. That's what I didn't like. Oh my God, too physical. It's like, come on now. Like, still be soft. He said it's unfortunate, but we knew they were a super physical team. They hit you. They hold on to you. All the stuff that you want your physical teams to do, but I just thought it got to a point where players were going to take matters into their own hands, and you don't want that. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this will play out. Suspensions are definitely on the horizon. This is from Mark J. Spears saying that we could get multiple game suspensions. But yeah, let's not see more fights. I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but this is the NBA that, by the way, don't ever put this in the same sentence as the Malice in the Palace, but definitely a little bit of action is good for the NBA, and I want to see more of it. Now, the Lake Show, the Lakers taking on the Rockets. You got a big game at home. The Lakers back at Crypto.com Arena, and they're going up against a team in the Houston Rockets that owns sole possession of the second seed in the Western Conference. So the Lakers coming off that big win where JJ Redick challenged his team against the Memphis Grizzlies. You come home, and I think now is the time for the Lakers to really start getting things into gear when it comes to cooking for the playoffs. And you kind of had that big high after the trade. The defense was great. The chemistry was great. LeBron playing like an all-NBA player, getting some Luka Magic moments. Then you have some bad losses. The Josh Giddey game winner against the Bulls, that one definitely hurt. But then the night before that, you had a tip-in by LeBron. So they've had their ups and downs, but now I think it's about playing consistent basketball. And tonight, Houston, they're on the second night of a back-to-back. They were just on an 8-game winning streak before Denver snapped that. They've been just playing really, really good basketball. And the reason they are is not because of what they do on offense, it's the defense. A 109.8 defensive rating. That is fourth best in the NBA. They've been consistent all year, and think that that's what allows them to cover up some of their mishaps on offense that we've seen from them. So they're a young team. They're a gritty team. They are the best rebounding team, at 51.1 points in the paint with rebounds and putbacks. So they're a team that's physical, but they're not a good shooting team. 26th in the league when it comes to three-point shooting. So I look for the Lakers to kind of have a veteran win tonight, a mature win against a younger Rockets team. And I think the Lakers need to get it rolling again in LA going up against Houston. I got the Lakers winning tonight. How about you, J-Rob?
Yeah, I got the Lakers winning tonight. It's that momentum going into the playoffs and that postseason. I mean, this is that stretch of games where media members and ourselves were like, it might be a little scary for the Lakers. You got the Rockets, and then you got to play the Warriors. You got Oklahoma City twice. But honestly, D-Mac, I think this is a great gauntlet for the Lakers, especially heading into the postseason, because, I mean, if you go 1-1 against OKC to finish this thing out, or you go 2-0 by any chance, I think it gives you a lot of confidence heading into the playoffs. And the second-seeded Rockets are a great, I think, measuring stick right now to just kind of see where you are with the top of the ladder in the Western Conference. And so I got the Lakers winning tonight, and I think for my gamblers out there, I think they cover that -4 spread for sure.
I 100% think so too. And I think that if you're looking for a big question, what's the biggest question for the Lakers down the stretch? It is, can the big three build chemistry, be dominant, and look like a group that can go contend for a title in year one? If LeBron James was 25 years old and Luka was 22 years old and Reeves was 22 years old, you say, okay, just see what you can do, and then we'll get better and better. Add pieces. The window is not that big, right? It's cracked open for sure, but you have to win this year or the next year. I think it's those 2 years. I mean, LeBron's an alien. No one's been this good for this long, and I wouldn't put it past LeBron to be playing in his 50s and getting triple doubles. But still, I think if you're a Lakers team, You look at these three guys, as talented as they are, as a group, when Doncic, Luka, and Reeves, they're on the floor at the same time, Lakers have a 116.5 offensive rating, a 57.6 expected field goal percentage. That's 9th in the league for offensive rating, right? You just cannot expect a group with that to lead this team to a title based on the talent around them. So I think it starts tonight. You look at, too, just the overall net minutes. I mean, they're a -6 net rating when they're on the floor together. So they're losing compared to their opposition when they're all together. So can you get them together? For sure. And who's going to play defense around them? A 122.4 defensive rating with all three of them on the floor. That's not good. Okay, that's not good. That would that's defense is not going to win you a championship. So let's see if this team can build chemistry with those big three. Other big questions: does seeding really matter for the Lakers? Does it really matter? I think if the Lakers finish with the 4 seed, which they're in sole possession of right now after being the Grizzlies, you're a full game up on Memphis. You got the season tiebreaker. If the season would end today, they would meet the Grizzlies in the first round with the Lakers having home court advantage. If that's the case, Lake Show all day in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like when I look at this situation with the Lakers, I mean, I think you hit it on the nose. I wouldn't care about where they end up in the seeding. I think essentially you have LeBron James and Luka. I mean, D-Mac, this is a team that if they go to the finals, there's no surprises. If they got knocked out of the first round, I think there would be a surprise. I feel like it's just too talented of a group. And even despite the little deficiencies, whether you talk about maybe they're not fabulous defensively with their perimeter threats, or essentially when you look at, Jackson Hayes being the anchor for their rim protection, I don't really think it matters. I think if we got 4 games, a Luka Doncic classic, a LeBron James classic, and then that illustrious Austin Reeves 25-pointer. I mean, everything is in front of this basketball team.
For sure. And you mentioned the key word. It's defense. We know they can fill it up. We know that LeBron can get you 30. We know Luka can get you 30. We know Reeves can pop off and get you 30. Mm-hmm. And we know that Gabe Vincent and Rui and some other parts can step up and make key shots. But the third biggest question, the first biggest question, can the big three have chemistry? Second biggest question, does it really matter who they play? Does seeding matter? Third biggest question is the small ball defensive lineups, and can you get enough defense around the big three? Because when you have Jackson Hayes in the game, that's their only traditional center. That is their only center, right? When he's in the game, the Lakers defense is somewhat solid, a 115.5 defensive rating. That's not great, but still it's respectable. It's respectable. When you have Hayes and then you have Rui Hachimura, a 107.2 defensive rating. That gets even better. When you don't have Jackson Hayes on the floor, that defensive rating goes to 131.6. That's atrocious. So the small ball defense is not going to lead to a championship. So you have to find those configurations. And I think the number one thing would be, can you get Jackson Hayes to just look like a average center, just a guy that can go and be a lob threat, can get rebounds, can be a presence out there, and let the guys do the rest. So it's kind of crazy to think that, I mean, if I told, that was not on your Lakers bingo card, was, will Jackson Hayes play well enough to let the Lakers compete for a title? But I think it's crazy that that's something that's certainly a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the addition of Luka Doncic to this team, I do feel like his game has been amplified because of it. I mean, he is very much utilized with Luka Doncic, how Luka Doncic utilized Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington back in Dallas. I feel like because of JJ Redick's ability to coach concepts and plays and just being able to adjust strategically. Like, I love the way they guarded Jokic earlier in the year. I do feel like for a player like Jackson Hayes, who's going to have a lot on his plate and be asked a lot, he does have the support system, I feel like, around him to at least get the best out of himself during this time. Because, D-Mac, ironically enough, if they go, let's say Jackson Hayes has a great postseason, he just got himself $80 million.
Facts. I mean, exactly. I mean, you saw people post that meme after the Anthony Davis trade when the Mark Williams trade fell through. I accidentally became important at work and it's ruining my life. hopefully this should change his life, not ruin his life. It could make his life that much better because now he's in a great position to seize this opportunity and make the most of his career. So I think it's a fantastic point. So Lake Show winning, going on a run. But now we got to talk about the biggest story in the first week of baseball, because it's not the Dodgers going 5-0 for the first time since 1981. It's not the dominance of the Dodgers trying to repeat and defend their title. It is the torpedo bats. The torpedo bats that the New York Yankees used that have caused a lot of conversation. You just look at them and how they look in pictures. Yes, they look different. The first thing I thought of was it's the home run bat in Super Smash Brothers where you get the automatic KO and it goes over the fence. Now, a little bit about these bats. They were designed by a one-time MIT physicist who reimagined these bats that are field legal. They're field legal. They've been the talk of Major League Baseball. And whether or not this was a reason why, because not Aaron Judge isn't using one, but a lot of players are. A lot of players for the Yankees are, and they've had success with it, namely Jazz Chisholm. But the truth of the matter is, first thing you want to know, are these legal? Are these illegal? These bats are 100% legal. Major League Baseball rules only require that the bat is smooth with a round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter in the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. And they are legal. These are 100% legal. Jazz Chisholm said about the bat, Jazz hit 2 homers swinging that torpedo. He said, quote, "I feel like it gives you the feeling like you have more to work with. You probably don't have more to work with, but it feels like it. It gives you that extra confidence in your head to go out there and hit anything." But it's not just the confidence. I mean, it does give you a larger sweet spot by moving more wood to the area. So it makes the part of the bat, the sweet spot where you can barrel up pitches, more dense. So every hitter's sweet spot is different, right? Just how powerful the hitter is, how much good contact they get. But the torpedo bat is certainly going to cause conversation. Anthony Volpe, he used it. You had Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, Austin Wells, Cody Bellinger were swinging that torpedo bat. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many other players around Major League Baseball were using the torpedo bat, because let's be honest, what is the next thing that's going to come of this? What are people waiting for? It is, when will the Los Angeles Dodgers start using the torpedo bat? Because if the Dodgers get a hold of the torpedo bat and Shohei Ohtani's hitting 3 homers tonight and Mookie's hitting bombs and Freddie's hitting bombs, then these things are going to be more illegal than cork bats and steroids in Major League Baseball. This basically is the on-field equipment equivalent to the Dodgers deferring money, where it's completely legal. Every team, every player can use it, but it's who's going to use it the best, right? Who's going to have the most success with it? So I think that now they got the torpedo bat. Now all the Yankees need to do is invent a vacuum glove for Aaron Judge so he doesn't drop the ball anymore in the World Series. But J-Rob, your Yankees going crazy. 15 bombs for the New York Yankees. A lot of success with this torpedo bat. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, torpedo bat, bodega cat, Nestor Cortez, we don't want you back. Yankees in 5, okay?
Okay, I like it.
It has been an electric start to the Yankees season. I mean, for those out there who are upset about the torpedo bat, I mean, Dave Portnoy went on a rant about the torpedo bat. This all just reminds me of those who talk about the tush push in the NFL. If everybody can do it, Doug, it ain't illegal. It's just about who's doing it the best, and the Yankees are doing it the best right now. And I love the way you had to sprinkle your Dodgers in here and Shohei Ohtani. But, I mean, listen, we're dropping nukes out in the Bronx. We are back to the Bronx Bombers type of vibe. It feels like that back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, or it feels back in Yankee Stadium. And I'm excited for this season. I think Jazz Chisholm with the new torpedo bat is about to have, I'm going to put it out there early. Jazz Chisholm is going to have a Golden Glove MVP level season for the Yankees this year. And I think the way he's going to hit is going to be his best season batting as a pro. And so I love it. I love what's going on in New York. Obviously, diehard Yankees fan is, Everybody's just upset because the Yankees did it first. You know, that's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees aren't the Dodgers right now, but if there was another team outside of the Dodgers that would do something like this that would piss people off, it would be the Bronx Bombers. And I also think this is funny too. Hearing people, they got to ban this bat. Major League Baseball is going to ban this bat. Since when has Major League Baseball said, wait, more home runs? We got to do something about that. They'll do anything for home runs. And now that they can't give the players steroids, they're going to give the bat steroids. And that's what we saw over the weekend. This is a good thing for the sport. Give everyone the torpedo bat. I think it's cool that you had an MIT scientist kind of behind this whole thing. There's a tweet that I read. Yes, the Yankees have a literal genius MIT physicist, Lenny, who is the man on payroll. He invented the torpedo barrel. It brings more wood and mass to where the most often a player makes contact as a hitter. The idea is to increase the number of barrels and decrease misses. But not everyone likes it. Of course, the pitchers aren't going to like it. The Brewers pitcher, Trevor McGill, said, I think it's terrible. We'll see what the data says. I've never seen anything like it before. It feels like it's something used in a slow-pitch softball game. It's genius. Put the mass all in one spot. It might be Bush League. It might not be, but it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide. So first of all, it's not just the torpedo bat. It was the fact that the Brewers pitchers were giving out more meatballs than they do at Subway sandwiches. I mean, this was just meatball after meatball, bad pitch after bad pitch. I'm sure if as good as the torpedo bat is, it only has success when you make contact with the baseball. So pitchers, yeah, you got to live with it, but it'll be interesting to see if they do make any type of ruling on this. I cannot wait to go to my next Dodgers game. I'm going to ask the players, hey, you want the torpedo bat? Because I certainly would want to see that if I was a Dodgers fan. The more area that's a sweet spot, the better. So, yeah, it's interesting. That is the torpedo bat situations. Okay, next we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So, Aaron Rodgers, the NFL vagabond at this point, who's looking for a job. He's been updating his LinkedIn every day, trying to get a new job, and it looks like it could be with the Steelers. He met with the organization. He visited the organization, set up a throwing session between him and DK Metcalf. And Mike Tomlin, he said that they'd be okay with Mason Rudolph. I think that if you're okay with Mason Rudolph, you're also okay with probably drafting first or second in the draft and not having a good season. But he said that they had a really productive day. He said that he's a free agent. As you guys know, he came to visit last Friday. We had a really productive day. He's been in this thing a long time. I've been in this thing a long time, but there's no substitute for intimacy and spending time together and getting to know one another in a non-competitive environment. So that was really good, but I don't have any new updates in terms of where the process is. We'll see where it leads us. So I will say that I think the Steelers absolutely should sign Aaron Rodgers, and it's because of the guy I just mentioned in Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is one of the most respected head coaches in the league. The Steelers are one of the most tradition-laden, respected franchises in the league. Aaron Rodgers can break the Jets. He ain't going to break the Steelers, okay? So you would get an Aaron Rodgers on his best behavior. Look at your options. Mason Rudolph, no, okay? That's not going to do anything for you. You already have your quarterback from last year on different teams with Russell Wilson in New York and Justin Fields also in New York for the Giants and the Jets. Now, the Steelers, if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, they could find a quarterback in the draft, but they have the number 21 pick. And the two elite prospects, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, they're going to be gone by then. So I think you have to draft Aaron Rodgers next season. Are they going to win a Super Bowl with him? Probably not. Are they going to be a better football team than anything that's also available? I would say yes. Now, crap on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yawn. Can I get the camera, please? I mean, listen, we keep talking about Aaron Rodgers. Nothing is going to happen in Pittsburgh to the people watching at home. You're not going to a Super Bowl. And D-Mac, this thing is going to be another disaster. I have the utmost faith in Mike Tomlin, Hall of Fame coach, a bunch of winning seasons. But you're putting Aaron, having no sense of accountability, Rodgers, and aligning him on a team with George Pickens and DK Metcalf. And I cannot wait for the moment that Aaron Rodgers goes on TV and puts one of those two receivers under the bus and see how that does over in the locker room, because it's going to be a disaster. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not a needle mover anymore in the National Football League. I think the fact that we keep talking about him, the fact that he is holding us all hostage about his another decision. I mean, the Steelers might make a wild card with him. They might not, because they're not going to be better than the Bengals. They're definitely not going to be better than the Ravens. And quite frankly, if Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders looks halfway decent with the defense that they have in Cleveland, are you really telling me that it's an automatic lock that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be the third best team in the AFC North? I don't know. They're in the AFC East in a down year where the best team was the Bills and the other two teams didn't know what they were doing. And they still by far look the worst with the second best quarterback in the division. So, I mean, good luck to Steelers Nation. I just want y'all to know nothing's going to change. And, another ride out into the sunset for Aaron Rodgers, but nothing is changing.
I think, look, it's good we disagree sometimes. I disagree with you on this one. I just think that the infrastructure, the foundation of the Steelers, yes, Aaron Rodgers isn't an elite MVP quarterback anymore, still threw 28 touchdowns and had 11 interceptions. I mean, he was, by every statistical metric, an average to a slightly above average quarterback. He's 41 years old. By the way, talk about him throwing DK Metcalf under the bus. I would pray for the bus in that situation. I mean, that bus is getting CTE going into DK Metcalf, shouldering him to the ground. That bus is screwed there. But I do think, look, also too, DK Metcalf, you think Aaron Rodgers is going to do anything to him, right? He'll pick him up by his neck, right? So I think that the fact that Aaron Rodgers still wants to play lets you know that he's not, look, as for anyone that discredits Aaron Rodgers, and yes, for a guy that hates the media, he certainly gives us a lot to talk about every offseason. The thing about Aaron Rodgers, he's a future first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. He has been a top 10 quarterback in the history of the sport statistically. So I like the pairing of Rodgers with the Steelers, have some other pieces around him. I think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs with him. I really do. I think the Steelers are going to sign Aaron Rodgers and they're going to make the playoffs because the Steelers are the Steelers. Like, they're a franchise that just gets it. They just know how to win. I don't think they win the Super Bowl, but I think he's going to be an upgrade to what they had last season. Now I can't wait to get to my favorite topic, Ashton Hall. Do you guys know about Ashton Hall? Because he's probably on your For You page on Instagram. Ashton Hall went viral last week when his morning routine went viral, where he has this water, I think it's called Saratoga water or something, and it comes in this blue bottle, and the sales of Saratoga water have gone up 1,349% since his morning routine, where if you look at this morning routine, it's like he's getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready again. He's getting up, he goes to the gym, and he goes to the cold plunge, and he comes back and he dips his head into that cold water. Then for some reason he takes a banana peel and puts the banana peel all over his face. And then he has one line in it where he's like, oh, let's do 10,000, right? Something like that. But you know what? It's funny because at first I hated on this guy, because I'm just like, what is this? Like, just look at influencer. What is he doing? And then I see myself like bookmarking his reels that are like motivating and stuff. So I will say I'm kind of all in on the Ashton Hall craze. He was a player, I think, at Alcorn State. The running back didn't have much success, but yeah, he's got me wanting to run through a brick wall and dip my face in some ice cold Saratoga water. How about you, J-Rob?
I mean, I definitely think it's entertaining. My goal when it comes to this type of content will forever and always be Drew Walls. Drew Walls set the tone with this stuff. I don't know. I mean, the problem with the internet is like, you just don't know what trends. Like, I just was not expecting us to be up here talking about Ashton Hall, but shout out to him. He's having his moment in the sun. Saratoga water owes him a lot of money, a lifetime supply of Saratoga sparkling water. Have you had one of these sparkling
I gotta have one.
face baths, I guess, whatever they are? Shock your system. I don't know what the point is, but I also find like the routine to be actually just hilarious, because I don't know if he's really trolling, but like when it goes, I can't stop laughing more than when he goes from like 4:45 a.m. to 4:50 a.m. and all he did was like stand on the balcony and just crouch down and breathe.
I saw a funny tweet. It was like he'd be bullshitting all day, right? And no, the funny thing too is if you look at the dive when he jumps, it says 7:36 a.m. and then when he gets in the water at 7:40 a.m. So is he in the air for 4 minutes? Is what I'm wondering right there. And also too, it's like, I mean, how productive is like working out? Because when you think about it, like. Look, man, imagine getting up at 3:45 and you actually start working like basically at 9. Yeah. So like, what'd you actually do? Like, you basically just got your body right from that point, you know? And then you mentioned the walk outside. Yeah. So the walk outside, they show him walking with the bottle at 4 o'clock. And then at 4 a.m. he's opening the door, and then at 4:01 he's going through it. Yeah. So like, did it take him were they right at that minute mark for him to get there?
Don't get it.
There's something that's really addicting about the quick cuts of it all. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's basically, I look at it, it's like he's up for 2 hours and he's drinking water and staring at the mirror, basically. Yeah. But
2 hours of nothing.
But yeah,
like when he goes to get on his journal, D-Mac, every time he goes to the journal, it's on the first page of the journal.
I know it's kind of like the LeBron thing where he's like reads the first page of the book. He's on the first page of the journal. Also, too, like, okay, couple questions I have. What's the banana stuff on the face? Like, what does that do for your face?
I don't know.
And then what the hell is that black thing on his nose?
I think
breathing.
The thing on his nose is a nasal strip, and I probably assume the thing over his mouth is so he doesn't snore. Maybe.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, he looks like he's locked in, man. He looks like
I'm not 100% sure what he has going on, to be honest.
Yeah. Also, too. Okay. I mean, I really I don't know why. Like, I'm like, it's funny because I'm talking crap about this guy, but in some of my mind's like, dude, you watch his reels a million times, you love the guy, and you have saved his reels for like motivated. So, Mike, why is he wearing a watch in the shower, bro? Like. What's the shower watch situation?
I think the shower watch is just to show that he has a bust down on. You know, he got a nice Rolex on.
So was it what do they call it? What do they call when the Rolex is like not plain Jane. Plain Jane.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, like his audience, the people who enjoy him, are probably a lot of like that red pill, low key incel crowd. That's like, if he could do it, I'm gonna get 10,000 just like Ashton Hall. You know what I'm saying? So I think his audience does like him a lot too. So
yeah, no, it's cool. We'll talk about him some more for sure. Saratoga Water, go get it and go sponsor this show. I mean, I wonder if that whole pool was filled with Saratoga Water, right? Yeah. And also, do someone point out that his desk is too high? You notice how like. If you look at like the desk is like up to his back, he's like that. So shout out to Ashton Hall, man. We'll try to get him on the show. Okay, real quick, couple more before we get out of here. Women's Final Four, UCLA, they punched their ticket. The first Final Four in UCLA women's basketball history. Lauren Betts went off. Jaime Jaquez' sister, Gabrielle Jaquez, she had 18 points, was big in the second half. UCLA nearly blew that lead. I thought Kim Mulkey, man, I'm just full disclosure. It's kind of my first time truly going all in on college basketball on the women's side because of UCLA's run. Man, I've never seen a team flop more than LSU. I've never seen a coach that's more annoying to watch coach than Kim Mulkey. I mean, what is she? She was wearing that purple thing. I mean, she looked. Her outfits are freaking insane right there. I mean, I'll get like Prince vibes with that. But she said after the game, a reporter asked her, it was like the LSU reporter was like, hey, this is your second time getting eliminated in the Elite Eight. And then she cuts off the reporter and is like, have you ever made it to a Final Four? I'm like, dude, his job isn't to play in the Final Four. That's your job. I would have been like, you ever wrote a column about anything? Like, I mean, what the hell? Like, how is that a thing, But UCLA, I mean, Lauren Betts looks absolutely unstoppable. She looks dominant. She's kind of throwing bows out there, which is kind of cool. You know what's crazy? I was super impressed with was Flo J. Johnson, I think, right? Flage. Okay, yes. Sorry, I was close.
All good.
Flage, like, she was out there landing haymakers until the end. 24 points in the second half. She can rap too.
Yeah, she's dope as hell. I mean, she's a Rock Nation artist, man.
That's pretty wild.
I really don't know how, like in today's NIL, this climate of sports, like D-Mac, I don't know how these kids do sports, school, and then all the sponsored engagements that they have along with their day-to-day schedule. Like Flau'jae, I heard she wakes up at like 5 o'clock every day to shoot, record, go to class, and then still be the first one at practice. Like, she's a machine, and I think she's going to be a great WNBA player.
I think so too. I mean, I think she's gonna do whatever she does. She's gonna do great at it. Yeah. You can just tell. But hey, Kim Mulkey, Karen Mulkey, whatever you want to call her, glad to see her get eliminated. You got UConn and USC tonight. I think UConn, of course, that's J-Rob's squad. He's a UConn Husky. That they're gonna just beat the brakes off of USC, right? No Juju Watkins, a 15-point favorite. You got Paige Beckers going 40 pieces a game. It's got to be UConn big tonight, right?
Listen, I love USC, love what they've done. But it is a UConn world, and everybody else is just living in it in this tournament. We are about to smash our way to another championship. That'll be number 12 for the women's side. I think given the program, men and women include, I think that's 18 national championships at University of Connecticut, the mecca of basketball, by the way. And Paige Beckers is about to give USC 30 today. It's going to be one of those games. This might be a game where the fourth quarter, the second unit might be in with that last 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It's going to be one of those type of games. I mean, we've 30-pieced South Carolina this year. South Carolina doesn't look that great.
You shouldn't be allowed to play with Paige Beckers. If you can't have Juju Watkins, you should have no Paige Beckers to just even the playing field. Okay, the only reason I set this one up, too, is if for any reason we get one of the biggest upsets in women's college basketball history, if for any reason UConn loses tonight,
Campbell's.
If they do, though, you have to agree to do the Ashton Hall head in the ice of Saratoga Water Bowl on the show tomorrow.
I'll do it.
All right, he's going to do it.
I'll bring the Saratoga in.
Win or lose, he's going to do it. How about that? But yeah, that's going to be fun to see because UConn, UConn is UConn, right? I think 11 titles and the way they've been. And I'm just glad, for me, I feel like Mulkey, by the way, I looked up Mulkey, her playing career. She had 0 Final Fours. She's never played in a Final Four either. I'd have been like, I was like, if I was that reporter, I would have been like, I played in as many as you have. You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, like, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, last question, or last topic real quick. Deion Sanders, he gets a new deal to stay in Colorado. I am a little surprised by his commitment there just because his kids are gone. They're going to be in the pros very soon here. Colorado's a program that they're not the Bamas, Ohio States, USC's of the world as far as their NIL support, as far as just their national stature, their overall history. But it's clearly a comfortable situation for him. And for anyone out there that was doubting whether or not Deion Sanders had the motivation to be a college coach to help develop these young men, well, here's all you need to see. That it was really about that for him. It wasn't just about, I'm coaching my son, I have Travis Hunter. No, he cares about these guys. He cares about this program. If you're Colorado, you need to pay him more. I think he's underpaid. He should be getting $100 million because he has made this program nationally relevant. And I'm a little disappointed. I just want to see him in a bigger program. I want to see him at Florida State. That's where I want to see Deion Sanders. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I want to see Prime back where he was running a 4.2 140 with the Seminoles. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a nice dream. I feel like Colorado has done right by Deion, and Deion has done right by Colorado. Because if you remember when he first got offered the job, the AD at Colorado pretty much said, we don't have the money for Deion, but we're going to find the money for Deion.
Like that.
Yeah, and 2 years later, they give him this extension, I think about $52 million, 5 years. He's one of the highest paid coaches in football. He deserves every penny. I mean, he has changed the infrastructure in Colorado. I mean, I think what we need to talk about is not only are application rates up at the University of Colorado, I think one thing that's even cool.
It's like what Saban did at Bama, right?
Saban did to Bama. I think Colorado has the most of, any public school right now, or at the top of inner city kids applying to universities to be a part of the culture that he's brought to that university and that school. I think that's awesome to see. I mean, the star-studded coaching staff, Marshall Faulk, Warren Sapp. I mean, I heard around the news that maybe what's my guy's name? He used to play for the Jaguars, the big type, Garrard.
Oh, yeah.
David Garrard. He's going to be coaching at the university as well. I mean, Deion has done a fabulous job at this program. And I think that, honestly, D-Mac, I don't know if you've ever been to the University of Colorado Boulder's campus, but those mountains in the background, his probably high mountainous home. He looks out in the mountains every morning and he's probably like, yeah, I can't leave this place. I just want to turn this place to a national power. And so, I mean, listen, man, I loved everything he's done. He definitely well deserved.
Well deserved for sure. For all the reasons you mentioned, he's the guy who doesn't need the money. I'm pretty sure he makes enough. He makes more in just the Aflac endorsements than probably most coaches even make. But I do want to, like, I thought that after a couple of seasons ago, he would be recruiting like Saban did to Alabama, just to line up to play for Coach Prime. Hasn't quite been there as far as just putting together top 10 to 15 classes like I expected him to do. But maybe with this security and players out there seeing him locked in for the long term. And look, here's the thing though, even at $54 million, if a team wants Deion in this stage of college football, here's $54 million, and then we'll pay you $20 million.
And we might buy you out your contract.
We'll buy you out, and then Lincoln
Riley deal to USC.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It is like, even though that is the case, but I mean, people out there might say, "Oh, $54 million for 6 and 6, that's nasty work." But then that doesn't tell the whole story, and that doesn't say what he has become. So I'm just happy that he's still in college football. I think he's much better for college football than he would be for the NFL. As big as it would be to have Coach Prime be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, that's just not how it works in the NFL. The coaches are the stars in the NFL because the coach or the stars in college football because they stay. You got to learn new names every year for college football. In the NFL, the players are the stars. So yeah, I like that he's still coaching, but get him to Florida State one day. I know Colorado fans are going to hate me for saying that, but yeah, I want to see him as a Seminole head coach. But the more success he has, the more pick of the litter it's going to be for him if he wants to move on to get that other job. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. Definitely subscribe. Definitely follow. Comment Luka Magic so you're eligible for our next big giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. Our 2,000 subscribers, we're giving away a Luka Doncic jersey. All you have to do is comment Luka Magic. All you got to comment is Luka Magic down below. So it's a good giveaway. It's a much better giveaway than giving like a Nico Harrison quarter zip Mavs, right? So definitely comment Luka Magic down below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be going live for Dodgers Nation at 12. So we got a new time slot here. We're going live at 10 in the morning. TBL in the morning. So a new time slot. Subscribe, join the movement. Love us before they all do. My man J-Rob, go follow him. Go follow me at DMAC_LA. Shout out to producer Noel, rock with us as always, and Robert and the whole gang. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. And until next time, I'm out.